You have applied to hundreds of cybersecurity jobs, but all you're getting is radio silence. Those dreaded emails we regret to inform you. Trust me, I've been there and I've seen so many others go through the exact same experience. Let's face it, the tech market in 2024 hasn't exactly been a walk in the park, especially in the US. You hear all these things about a cybersecurity shortage and how companies desperately need people in the field. Yet, on the flip side, there are countless individuals like you trying to break into this industry. You have the knowledge, or at least willingness to gain it, and you're eager to do the work as well. But despite your efforts, you're just getting rejection after rejection. So, what's really going on here? Why is there such a disconnect between the supposed demand for cybersecurity professionals and the reality job seekers are facing? Make sure to watch this video till the end because I'm going to shed some light on the entry-level cybersecurity job market. For those who don't know me, I'm Sohail, founder of Cyber Excel Training Academy here in Australia. I've spent over a decade in IT and cybersecurity, working with some of the biggest names in the industry, and I've helped many IT professionals transition into cybersecurity roles. And in this video, I'm going to help you do the same thing. You hear about all this news about a cybersecurity shortage, but let me give you the reality of how the industry works in 2024 and beyond. Yes, companies need people in the field, but they need skilled and qualified people. The reality is, when someone just finishes their degree or earns a bunch of certifications like CompTIA, Security Plus, it doesn't necessarily mean they have the practical skills that companies are looking for. It takes time to get a new hire up to speed, to teach them, mentor them, and guide them. Companies have to allocate a full-time cybersecurity professionals to bring this entry-level person up to speed, which means diverting resources from revenue-generating activities. Unfortunately, this is not something that many companies are willing to do. I remember a time when I was working as a cybersecurity consultant at a company in Australia. They brought in an associate to work with us, and my colleagues and I were responsible for mentoring this person. But reality was that we were assigned to projects and had to be billable against those projects. We couldn't spend time on non-project related tasks. Teaching her was considered admin work, meaning it wasn't producing revenue for the company. Even though the company brought her in to help her grow, they weren't willing to allocate necessary time for us to train her. So she was essentially on her own, unfortunately. We couldn't help her because we were busy with our own stuff. That's the big disconnect between companies and entry-level people trying to get into the field. Now, you might be thinking, but aren't there entry-level positions available? Well, I went ahead and did a search on Indeed and LinkedIn for entry-level jobs, especially for cybersecurity analyst roles, the most common entry point into this field on the blue team side of cybersecurity. What I found was that most of the jobs are somewhat entry-level, but not entirely. I was shocked when I saw some of the job descriptions. Maybe 1 out of 10 was truly labeled as entry-level. The rest required 1 or 2 years of experience at least. But here is what everyone is missing. Just because a job posting doesn't scream entry-level doesn't mean you cannot land it. Companies often write their job description like a wish list, asking for experience that's sometimes a bit over the top. The whole purpose is to manage the influx of applications and filter out unqualified candidates. Let me share another story from my own experience to illustrate this point. When I was a security engineer, I was involved in the hiring process with my manager. We posted an entry-level position for a security engineering role. Within a day, we were flooded with hundreds of applications. The HR person responsible for that role found it impossible to sift through all of the applications, even with an application tracking system ATS in place. We realized that while getting so many applicants was great, most of them were unqualified. We had international students with no practical experience, just degrees and maybe a certification applying to these roles. Some didn't even have the right work visa to work in our company. We needed permanent resident or citizens. To manage this, we decided to tweak the job ad and posted a fresh job description. This time, we added a requirement of 1 or 2 years of relevant experience, IT or non-IT, and specified the visa requirements. You know what happened? The number of applications dropped significantly, but the quality went up. And here's the interesting part. We ended up hiring someone who didn't meet the experience requirement on paper, but had the right skills and attitude. You might be asking yourself, how is that even possible? What did that person have that allowed them to get the role? But before I dive into that, if you're finding this video helpful, do me a favor, hit the like button and subscribe to my channel. It helps more than you know, and you'll stay updated on all things cybersecurity careers related, alright? So, what's the moral of this story? That person didn't have the hard requirement of job experience, but they had all the skills and tools we needed. They knew everything required for the position, the firewall knowledge, the relevant projects, the knowledge and stuff like that. They had done freelance work on their own, working for free to gain experience, had internships, and pursued certifications and training independently. And these certifications weren't just generic certifications. They were very niche and targeted to our role and requirements. They optimized their CV, applications, and LinkedIn profile based on the job description. It was very targeted. They had everything we needed except the 1 or 2 years experience. Plus, they proactively reached out to our recruiter on LinkedIn, expressing their willingness to go above and beyond to get a chance for an interview. This shows that even if you don't meet all the listed requirements, if you can demonstrate that you have the necessary skills and are proactive, you can still land a job. The takeaway here is that you might not find an entry-level jobs explicitly labeled as such on job boards, but you shouldn't limit yourself to only those roles. You need to optimize your CV, gain the skills that companies need, and apply to these jobs regardless. I'm not saying that you should spam your way into these jobs. You have to genuinely know the requirements they're asking for. Tailor your CV accordingly. If you feel confident about yourself and you know that you can get the job done, don't disqualify yourself. When you see all these job descriptions, remember that they're often a wish list designed to filter out unqualified people and those who lack confidence. Most people who know deep down they cannot do the job, they won't apply. But if you have done the projects, have hands-on practical experience, and you know you can deliver, apply. Now, I understand that the job market is tough these days, especially in 2024, and it's probably going to remain challenging into 2025. If you're entry level, seeking your first job in IT or trying to break into cybersecurity, you have to do more than what's typically required. It's not just about applying to jobs and waiting for someone to get back to you. You have to be proactive. Here are the things that you can do to increase your chance of getting that job. First, optimize your CV daily. Tailor it to each job that you're applying for, highlighting relevant skills and experiences. Second, increase your application volume. Aim to apply to as many suitable jobs as you can. Quality matters, but so does quantity. Expand your network. Increase your outreach on LinkedIn. Connect with professionals in your target roles and companies. Engage with recruiters. Talk to recruiters. Attend networking events and make yourself known in the industry and post content on LinkedIn. And finally, be persistent. You have to find a way in, and that often means consistent effort over time. One crucial thing I want to tell you is that instead of focusing only applying through job boards and waiting for callbacks, the best way to get into cybersecurity field these days is through referrals. When we post jobs, managers first ask for referrals from their network. They say, hey, do you know anyone who might be a great fit for this role? So you see, it's referral first. It's always referrals. Make sure you're talking to people on LinkedIn, staying on top of their minds. You never know. Maybe a manager asks someone and they remember you from a conversation. Building these relationships is essential. Try to get your foot in the door through referrals. To sum it all up, the cybersecurity field might seem tough to break into, but with the right approach, you can succeed, even without prior IT experience. It's about persistence and playing the game smart. Thanks for watching, and if you've got questions, make sure to leave them down below in the comment section. And if you found this video helpful, please subscribe to the channel so you can stay updated on all things cybersecurity related. Good luck on your journey, and remember, don't give up.